Hello everybody, this is Mark Ciardini for Actionuser, and in this walkthrough video, I'm going to show you some basics when getting started with the action scripts that you download from Actionuser. And so to follow this tutorial, you'll need to make sure that you are a registered user and that you are logged into the website. So I'm on the home page here, and what I'm going to do is select a category. I'm going to select the books category here, and I've already picked out a book action to use for this tutorial. I'm going to use the HBK 15 book right here. Alright, so I'm on the items page, and now what I'll do is just click on the download button. And it'll ask me to confirm that. I'll go ahead and click on download. Okay, it looks like the download has started, and it'll say file successfully purchased. However, if for some reason that the file did not download correctly, I can click on the re-download link right here and the download will restart again. So everything looks really good. I'll go ahead and click on continue. Okay, great. I'll go ahead and minimize the browser now. Okay, next you'll want to go into your Finder window inside your operating system, and you'll want to locate the file that you've downloaded from the website. Now usually by default, the download location could be inside a downloads folder, or it could be on your desktop. You'll need to check the preferences on your web browser to find out where it's saving its files. In my case, I'm using Apple Safari, and it saves all the files into the downloads folder. So I'll just navigate to the downloads folder on my hard drive, and here I can find the HBK 15 folder that I've downloaded from the website. Now, in some cases, you might find a zip file. That's because all the files downloaded from Actionuser are in an archivable zip format. And so you'll just need to extract the zip file, and then you'll find the action folder that looks just like this. I'm going to double click inside this folder to find the files here. Okay, I'll make this a little larger so you can see what's going on. We have an action file. We have an image of the 3D book. And then we have some help files here. If for some reason, like let's say you're out on the road and you're somewhere where you're not able to access the website for tutorials, inside the helps files, you'll find different step-by-step tutorials on how to install and use the action scripts. Okay, and we also have a license file here. All right, so it looks like all the files have been successfully downloaded from the website. So we must get this action file here into Photoshop. So let's go ahead and load up Adobe Photoshop now. Before we start working with actions, we must load them into the action palette. So first, let's come up here to the window menu and right down here to the actions option. Go ahead and select that, and the palette should appear on the right side of the interface here. Now there's two ways to load actions into the palette. One way is to come right up here on the top right of the palette. You'll find a little menu icon. Go ahead and click on that, and a large menu will appear. And just come right down here where it says Load Actions. And go ahead and click on that, and then the open dialog will appear. Now what you must do is browse on your hard drive where the action was saved to. In my case, this is the Downloads folder, so I'll just go into the Downloads folder and into the action folder that I've downloaded. And then I'll want to highlight or select the action file. And a good way to indicate that it's an action file is to just look on the file. The icon should say Actions. And another way to tell if it's an action file is that the file name will end with a file extension .atn. So I'm going to go ahead and select this action file and then click on Open. And now you can see that the action folder has been loaded into the palette here. Now, there's another way to load actions into the action palette. So I'll just go ahead and click on this folder and drag it to the trash can icon to delete that. And let's go back into the Finder window in the operating system. And here's something else that you can do. Let's just say that you have multiple actions that you would like to import into the actions palette. Well, you can also click on the action files or multiple action files and click and drag it from the Finder window outside of the Finder window into Photoshop. As long as Photoshop's visible in the background here, you can release the mouse and that will immediately install the file right into the palette. So how cool is that? And that's usually the way that I like to load files into the palette. After you've installed the action script, you must expand the folder. So come right over here to the action script, and just to the left of the folder icon, you'll find a little arrow. So go ahead and click on that arrow and the folder will expand. Now you'll find two steps, step 1 and step 2. Step 1 creates a template. Step 2 will take your template and render it into a 3D object. In our case, this will be a 3D book. So first, let's go ahead and run the template so we can start creating our book cover. I'll go ahead and highlight step 1 and then click on play. All right, so the template has been created. I'll go ahead and just center it on the screen here. And let's take a look here. We can see clearly that there's a guide on the template already for us just to help us in where determining where the side of the book is and where the front of the book is. We can clearly see that this is the spine here based off the text that was included with the template, and this is the cover here. This is the time to start creating your book cover. So you would add layers, text, graphics, whatever you want over this template. But for this tutorial, I've already created a book cover here. So I'm just going to select the Move tool and I'm going to click and drag the book cover from this document over to the template. Okay, I'll just make sure this is snapped in here. There we go, perfect. And I'll drag this layer above all the other layers. And you can see that I've followed this guide on the template and I've created the spine of the book over here and my cover of the book over here. All right, great. So everything looks really good. So what's the next step in converting this template into a 3D tangible looking book? Well, that's when we go to step 2. So next, go ahead and highlight step 2, render, and then come right down here and click on the play button. Okay, great. So here's our 3D book. And what I'm going to do is just move this over here, and I'll just go ahead and drag these other images out of the way here. And let's take a look and see what we got here. I'll just go ahead and zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole book. Okay, so we've got an opened hardback book showing the spine with a reflection at the bottom and also a little shadow over here. The cool thing about the actions and the scripts that you download from Actionuser is that you have all the layers intact here. So you can actually edit the book even after it's been rendered. So let's just say for some reason that you didn't want this reflection down here at the bottom. Well, what you can do is let's select the Move tool on the toolbar. And an easy way to select the layers and the graphics that you see on images is to just bring the pointer tool over the graphic and then right-click the mouse. And this will show you the layer number that goes with this graphic. So I'll go ahead and select this number. And then Photoshop will immediately select that layer for me so I don't have to go through the layers palette and search for it. So how cool is that? So I could edit this layer or I could just come over here and make it invisible. Let's just say for some reason that you didn't want the reflection in the image, you can just go ahead and remove it. Or this shadow over here on the side. I'll go ahead and right click and I'll choose this layer number at the top here, which is 20. And Photoshop will automatically select that layer over here and I can just go ahead and turn that off. Maybe you wanted to condense the graphic a little bit more, or you wanted to crop down the image, and so you wanted those shadows and reflections not to be there. That's just something that you can do. We usually also have a highlight layer that's on the covers that are rendered, and to find these highlight layers, you can look through the layers palette, but also another easy way is just to come up to one of the corners of the cover, and let's say this top right corner here, and I can just right click and choose the first layer number on the list here, and that will automatically select the highlight layer. I'll go ahead and turn up the opacity on the top of the layers palette, and you can see that the highlight layer is flashing there, or I can just turn it on and off, and you can see clearly that I can adjust the brightness of the highlights. So that's how we can quickly get started using the action scripts that we download from Actionuser. My name's Mark Monsiardini. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one.